First story. OP cut ties with her narcissistic mom after she stole her college fund, causing her to drop out. Now, after 3 years, mom took a credit card in OP's name. OP is furious and determined to place her behind bars. I haven't talked to my mom for a little over a year now, but this is the story of my mom's lies. Growing up, my mom was always in and out of jail for stealing. The last time she was arrested was in 2015. I was 19 at the time. She always said she stole to provide for our family, but we never lived in a stable home. She would just blow money on expensive gifts and tell us, "We aren't poor, we have this." How many poor kids have this? As we lived from hotel to hotel? Growing up, I became the financially responsible child. I worked multiple jobs, got good grades, and did community service. I was able to save up $8,500 for college with multiple scholarships. During my hard work in high school, I also helped my mom with bills and paid for whatever she needed help with. When I left for college, she was arrested again and had to be dropped off a state away by my aunt for my first day of college. I asked my mom for my college money, and she said she would transfer the money when she got out. When she got out, it all magically disappeared. She blamed my dead grandmother for stealing my money. In 2019, I discovered multiple credit cards and an apartment late on bills were opened in my name. I cried to my mom about all these issues, and she comforted me and asked for more money. I gave her more money. I graduated with my BA and went to graduate school. I was able to be in graduate school for 1 year with my savings before I needed to take Grad Plus loans out. I applied but was denied due to all the negative items on my credit score. My mom told me to just pay it off. I didn't. I dropped out instead. I was devastated, but I wasn't going to pay for other people's fun rides. I called all the credit companies and got the address for all the credit cards. It was my mom's address. When confronted, she broke down, saying it was my grandmother and how dare I blame her for this. She demanded an apology and didn't speak to me for a week. My grandmother died before all the credit cards were open. I filed a police report against my mother. She doesn't know yet, but when she finds out, I am sure I will receive the best kind of text message. We stopped talking for another reason. Edit for all the comments. I have not spoken to my mother for a year, almost 2 years now. She has been blocked on everything. The reason we do not talk is because a previous post I made about how happy I am with my boyfriend ruined my relationship with her. To the comments asking about why I kept giving her money, it was hard. It was either help with the bills or have no electricity, water, gas, or roof over mine and my brother's heads. I didn't want to be homeless again, and I didn't want my brother to suffer either. I felt like I needed to help my family because for so long I had the mentality that blood was thicker than water. I know now that it isn't my responsibility. I was just young and thought I was doing the best I could to provide for my family. From the ages of 16 to 23. I'm 26 now. Credit stuff. I have gotten a good amount taken off. Only 2 cards and 1 bill are on my credit score. Thank you for all the support and kindness. Update 1. So this may not be the update everyone wanted to hear. I didn't get justice. She hasn't been arrested, and there are no charges at this time. I still have a police report, but I'm not going to push the police to make an arrest. The update is just more information. I have recently discovered more context. It wasn't just always my mom, my brother, and me. When I was born, I shared a small 3-bedroom apartment with my grandmother, her husband, my aunt in high school, my mom, me, and then my little brother. My aunt had no contact with the family in her late 20s, and I never knew why. It hurt to lose someone I was close with. I heard horrible rumors of things my aunt was doing for my mom, and my mom would also let me know awful things my aunt was saying about me. My aunt was on and off in my life after this. And see, well, fast forward to the present. I reached out to my aunt to meet her. We talked and got everything cleared. My mom stole my aunt's and her father's identities. My aunt had a lot of debt she didn't know about, and when she found out it was from my mom, she pressed charges. This was the second time she was arrested. My aunt's husband, who was a cop, arrested her. I knew he hated my mom, but I never knew why. My aunt then gave me a list of family members for whom she also stole their identities, and everyone in the family knew it would happen to me and my little brother. The issue was how they were going to stop her. She was our mom. My aunt told me that she wished my mom would have given us up so my brother and I could have lived with her and had a normal life. I don't know why, but those words broke me so much. I knew I had a family that knew we were being hurt but couldn't do much to help us. I knew they wanted to save me and my brother. My aunt then proceeded to tell me that my father tried to go to court to have my SSN changed and locked until I was 18. This way my mom couldn't steal my identity. It obviously didn't work, and here I am. She told me how happy and proud she was of me. She told me she struggled when she went without contact because she felt like she left her babies behind and was afraid of how we would turn out. I love my aunt, and I'm so happy I reached out. I'm even more angry with my mom, how badly she isolated us into her own delusional world and in the end destroyed our relationship. I told my aunt I didn't care that we struggled with poverty. I don't blame her for that. I blame her for how she handled it and put so much pressure on two children to become billionaires for her to continue her reckless spending. Update 2. I am a ball of rage. I had recently unfreeze my credit account to apply for care credit to get an emergency surgery done. After not even 2 months of unfreezing my credit, my mom applied for a new credit card in my name. I'm done. I always had a piece in me that didn't want to press charges or push for it because it was a rough time in our lives, and I knew she was struggling to raise us. But now I see no excuse other than that she just doesn't want the responsibility of living within her means. It has been 2 to 3 years of no contact. One thing I would like to say to you is to chase the bank. The card was being opened with them, and when I called to let them know it wasn't me, they told me they would see if they could close the account, but they needed a police report first. I asked for the address to confirm it was my mom, but they kept denying my request for the address. I only got it confirmed after I told the operator, "If I guess the damn address, would you just give me a yes or no?" He agreed, and it was my mom's address. I am away for surgery for a while, but when I get back home, I'm going to the police and request to speak with the prosecutor. I'm done. I'm hurt and done. I did my effing best to raise my credit score to where it is now. I did my best to work multiple jobs to help with bills. I did my best to be her emotional support, no matter how badly she treated me. I feel like the next step will be cutting this one string I left connected to her out of sympathy, and of course it led to me being taken advantage of again. I hope to give an update on whether the courts will be on my side. Edit. I'm sadly away from this surgery, which is why I'm waiting until the surgery is over and I'm back home recovering. I don't know if I can file this report in the state I live in, but it would still be beneficial in the state I live in. I know jurisdiction can be a problem. Edit to thank you for the advice, everyone. I will be pressing charges right away. My boyfriend is an attorney but doesn't work in public. I do have friends from my law school days that actually work in our county prosecutor office, so I may reach out to them for some advice. They just passed the bar and are slowly getting into the routine. I also don't like to bring this up much with passive friends because it's just embarrassing. My mom and I haven't spoken in almost 2 or 3 years. It feels so long ago that I really don't know the timeline. Why haven't I pushed for charges before, and why do I keep letting this happen? I really don't know if many will understand, but I have been conditioned to fear my mom from a young age. She would punish me for not acting, speaking, or thinking a certain way. If she thought I had a negative thought about her, I was hit and yelled at. I had to beg, cry, and comfort her that it wasn't true. After it was over, I would have to hold my mom and comfort her through the tears. The fear has also been real even after cutting contact. It has stopped, thankfully, but I have been afraid that if I make this move, it will start again. What do I mean? She threatened to get my boyfriend and friends expelled from law school if they kept associating with me. We had to call the school and have a talk about my mom. She then threatened to report me to the IRS for tax fraud, but I always paid my taxes. She sent messages to my workplace. When I was a kid, I would be in the back seat as she drove past people she hated houses over and over to see what they were doing. That fear that she could find where I live and do this makes my stomach turn. I was afraid to push for these charges in the past because I wanted to leave them behind and continue the peace I was having. She stopped. I removed all those nasty things from my credit, and I was happy until now. Now I know it will never stop. After 4 years of not opening anything in my name, she went back to it. So I'm putting my foot down and taking this step. I understand I should have pushed more earlier. I was scared and naive, but I'm going to stop it today. Last update until I get back home. I called my local police department back home saying I have an update for the identity theft report I reported in 2021. They transferred me over to the detective office and said I would need to come in to make another report. I told them I was currently waiting to finish a surgical procedure and would not be back home for a few days. They said it was fine. So at this time, I will not be able to make the report until I get back home, but I'm also happy because they said I can talk to the detective when I come in to file the other report. So I hope to be making part 4 by the end of next month with some good news. Update. Well, it has just been a mix of emotions these past few days. My surgery went well, and my recovery should be complete by next week. I feel super good. I have cancer. I didn't expect this one. Skin cancer, which is super easy to treat and prevent if I keep up with doctor appointments. Got this weird wart removed. I got a call right before I went into surgery saying it was cancer, and I would need to come in for some more testing and a body check. I would like to thank my mom for having me in tanning beds at 13. She said I was super ugly and pale, and I believed her. She also didn't want people to think we didn't travel for spring break. So all spring break I would be in a tanning bed to look like we traveled. Where's sunscreen, kids? I got a puppy. I went to the police today and filed a report. I spoke to a detective too. I gave them all of my and my mother's information. They asked if I would like to press criminal charges, and I said yes. They are going to call the credit card company to pull the report, and if Chase Bank gives them the report without a subpoena, then we will have an easy charge and closure of the case. If Chase Bank wants a subpoena, then it will take longer to close this. I'm super happy I finally did this, and to hear that they may actually have charges to press against her. So once I have more of an update, I will post again, but it looks like it may be a couple of months before we get somewhere. Thank you all for the comments, messages of support, and kindness. I'm super happy where I am in life. Also, I did talk with my brother. He knows and is aware of the situation. He doesn't seem to care about his credit, but he is also still young. I'm sure he will understand soon and hopefully get taken care of. Edit. I kind of chuckled when I read your comments, commenting on my mom as an egg donor because the surgery I just came back from was an egg donation. I was donating my eggs to a gay couple I was close with at my job. They are a very sweet couple and know my family history. I've donated my eggs many times to other couples, but it makes me chuckle a little to see you call her an egg donor after coming from an egg donation cycle. Update. The police called to let me know they would be going to see her today or Tuesday to talk about the theft. If she admits to it, then we will have an easy case. I told them on the phone that she wouldn't admit to stealing. She would just blame someone else. The detective wanted to know if she had a drug problem. I told him no. She just couldn't live within her means. If I get a call back that she has been arrested, I will let you know. Update. I got a call this morning from the detective. He wanted to hear my side of the story again. I told him my mom's history with theft. I told him I filed once in 2021 and nothing happened. How I found this inquiry and how she did it the moment I unfreeze my credit. He asked what I wanted him to do. I told him I would like charges. He asked if he went to her place, she would admit to this crime. I told him no. When I confronted her about this, she blamed my grandmother. Apparently, the woman had powers beyond the grave to open these cards in my name. He asked if she was a drug user. I told him no. She just doesn't know how to live within her means. He said he would be going down today to interrogate her. If she admits to it, she will be booked right there. If she doesn't, then they will just need the Chase credit report. I am planning to go to Chase to grab the report and hand it to them myself tomorrow. I asked if she would know our address. He said if we went to court, my address would be submitted as evidence against the identity theft, so she would know where we lived. Thank God we are renting right now. So we agreed that if we go to court, we will see how long her sentence is and plan to move out before she is released. We know she will serve time because this is her 4th time, and the judge will have no sympathy for a mom doing this to her daughter. The maximum punishment in the US is 15 years, but she always takes the plea deal, so I can see her serving either a couple of months or a year. It has been a couple of hours, and my stomach feels like it is doing flips. My head is so dizzy. The air feels so much heavier. I feel sick. I have been waiting on my phone for a call, an update, something. Did she admit it? Is she booked? What is happening next? The detective then gave me the report number, and I called Chase back. Chase apparently hadn't processed the application, but after my call, it was put on hold until further investigation. With my report, I was able to have it denied and removed from my credit score. So I have confidence I can go into the bank tomorrow and snag that report. I apologize for any grammar mistakes here. I feel so lightheaded. I'm on edge right now. I'll update again once I have heard back from the police. Update. So this isn't the update a lot of people want to hear. The police showed up Friday to talk to my mom. She denied everything and said she didn't even speak to me, which is true. We haven't spoken in 2 years. That Friday, I got logged out of my Experian. Weird, but I didn't think too much of it. Yesterday, I decided I would use my downtime to get back into my Experian account, thinking I forgot my username and password and had signed up with an old email. I get back into my Experience, and everything is different. Different email, different phone number, and username. Someone just wanted to control my credit file, so I wouldn't be able to access any more information. I saved the email and phone number. I just got off the phone with a detective, and they will investigate this too. If it is linked to her and shows up, then we have a closed case. If not, they said they would need to wait for more evidence to come in. My boyfriend and I talked. We don't want more evidence to come in and be on high alert. So I'm hoping this time with all my evidence I will be able to change my SSN. I tried back in 2021 but was denied because I didn't have evidence of it being constant harm. So I'm hoping this will help. I don't know if I will have another update on this. We are sadly moving since our address was linked to my expatriate. I also get spam calls asking me to speak with my mom or text her name. Why haven't you changed your number? I tried in 2022, but the AT&T people ignored my request and kept my number the same, plus everything was quiet last year. So I am going to try to change it again. Also, I know this is a question. How did she get into your country? I have the same 4 passwords I use for everything. She knows 2 of them. Every time I am requested to change my password, I just rotate to those 4. I know how stupid. I changed all my passwords to something she would never guess, and I'm better protected. If I do have an update, I will share it, but it looks like this may sadly be it. I'm sorry. This isn't the happy ending we all wanted. I wanted justice too, but please know I am happy even during these rough times. I have been super happy since in sea with my mom. I have amazing family and friends. It's funny. My favorite movie was Meet the Robinsons as a child. The ending wasn't exactly what the protagonist wanted to be happy with his birth family, but I'm happy I kept moving forward and met my new family. I have so much love in my life now. I couldn't have asked for more. Final update. The police just gave me a call again. The number was linked to her, but she told the officer she helped me set up the account when we were talking. So of course her number is linked, which is a 100% lie. The officer told me straight if we hadn't stopped the inquiry and allowed her to use that card for a couple of weeks, we would have been able to book her since they would have evidence that a card was delivered to her address and she was using it. So this is truly the end. Thank you all for the support and love you sent my way. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Second story. #OP called off the wedding after entitled manchild fiancé says she has no say in anything because he is the breadwinner and demands to have plastic surgery because rich people don't like thick. I want to clarify that no, this is not a fake post. This is my first ever Reddit post. I felt compelled to get some outside perspective because I don't confide in anyone in my personal life. No one knows I had this surgery. I'm glad I did post this, and I really appreciate everyone's feedback. I know what I need to do, but it's not easy. I will update in a few weeks. I, 26F, have been engaged to my fiancé, 37M, for 6 months now, and we're getting married next spring. Our relationship has not been easy, and we dated for 2 years before getting engaged, and he broke up with me once in between for 5 months. Right now, I am so conflicted. There was a time I was so eager to be engaged to him, and now I'm lost. First off, I kind of had to give an ultimatum to get engaged, to which he responded that he has not proposed all this time because of something in my looks that he's not attracted to. He asked me to get a specific plastic surgery to correct this issue and said that he would pay for it, and only then would he be willing to get engaged. So I went ahead and got the surgery anyways. We get engaged, and I can still tell he's not that attracted to me because the surgery didn't really make a big difference. He doesn't compliment me, doesn't really touch me or initiates things with me. He doesn't complain or bash my looks, but he doesn't rave about them either. But this isn't the worst of it. I am currently in graduate school, and he works full-time and makes over $500K per year. He is paying for the wedding and has rubbed it in my face on 2 occasions about how I contribute nothing and that I basically never have the right to complain about anything because he works so hard to pay for things. I complained once that I feel we don't spend enough quality time. I just don't know if I'm making a huge mistake getting married to him. I don't want to be miserable. I am so anxious. I don't feel like he loves me. He pushes me away when he's having a bad day and doesn't talk to me. I just feel kind of neglected in the relationship, but I also don't want to be a victim, and maybe he's right about some things. Breaking an engagement off is so embarrassing, and this would be his second broken engagement, and I don't want to do that to him. I just feel really lost. How do I go about this? Edit. Thank you for all the responses, even the mean ones that I needed to hear. The surgery I got was liposuction of my legs from thighs to ankles. I've always carried weight in my lower body. He says financially successful men don't like thick women and goes on to list all the successful men he knows and uses their women as references. I figured he was right about this and got the surgery, and I'm still trying to lose weight because the Leo didn't make a huge difference. Also, to those who ask what good qualities he has, I initially thought he was very kind, helped the poor, and went on medical mission trips. He's a doctor. He is funny, and we actually get along really well when things are good. And I love his parents so much, and I really feel for them. They are older and want grandkids, and I want to see their son married. I don't think they realize how mean he can be. I'm not going to pretend his money is not appealing. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and I watched my parents struggle as immigrants. I always wanted to make sure my kids would grow up in a financially stable environment. It's not really gold digging because I'm not a materialistic person. I don't care for expensive things and just don't want to struggle like my parents did. To those who think I can get a prenup or divorce, our culture and community are very strict. I probably should have mentioned we are Middle Eastern, not Muslims. We don't get divorced. It's not an option in our church. He ended his first engagement, not hers. He said she became too obsessed with the wedding planning and felt like a different personality had come out of her after she secured the ring. Update. Hello, everyone. I did not think I would post the update so soon, but here it is. We broke up today, 48 hours after my initial post. 1,000 plus people begged me not to get married. The wedding is off. This is how it went. He picked me up because we had our engagement photo shoot today. He has been depressed for over a month now over a real estate lawsuit that he started. He has already been putting me on the back burner because of this lawsuit, gives me no attention, and acts like I am an added stressor in his life. So I'm already fed up with the mopey attitude. He starts going off about how he's not in the mood to take pictures today, that it's hard for him to smile, and how drained and unhappy he feels over the house. I literally exploded with everything that's happened. I couldn't take it anymore. I told him I've never met such a literal manchild in my life. For him to break down over a lawsuit he started, he is not fit to ever be the man, the sole provider of a family, to face the real troubles of life. He has never had any real issues in his life. He is a literal manchild. I told him he never acknowledged how insane it was that I went and got surgery just for him to find me more attractive. He never recognized the care and sacrifices I've made for him. I did take ownership for letting this relationship drag out as far as an engagement after he showed me time after time how unfit he is to be a life partner. It is my fault. I ignored the red flags, and I kept having hope he would change one day. Maybe if I brought him a child, he would start to appreciate me more, and maybe seeing me as a mother, he would start to love me. I am so glad it didn't last long enough to find out. We didn't make it to the shoot, obviously. He ended up driving me back home. Sadly, we wasted the poor photographer's time. His reaction throughout all of this was very minimal. He was so cold that he would look down and look sad, but it looked like he was pretending. He said he was sorry and he thought I deserved better than him. He said his emotional battery had run out. This was the end of it. I gave him the ring back and told him we'd never speak again. I want to thank everyone who responded to my original post. I read every single one, and I express how much it helped me finally come to this decision today. You guys actually saved my life. I am not even sad. I am so relieved that I feel lighter. Thank you all so much. Thank you for watching the video. If you are interested in listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.